You look at a team like just in your division, Carolina, they get a lot of turnovers. Expect Tampa Bay to be aggressive. They had their share of turnovers. So, again, help your offense out. Help them out. Punt, special teams, get the team a short field, turnovers, whatever. Help that offense out. Those are the things I'm looking for regarding the Falcons. And that is it. 5 minutes on the home teams. All right, let me see if I can squeeze in a random. I'm trying to figure out where I want to go with these randoms. What can we do? Oh, okay, I got one random for you. Again, had to cut them. We are well past time, so let me get to the OG quote and get out of here. But the one random I have for you this week, Power. Does anybody out there watch Power? Yeah, newsflash, Holly is gone. That is right. Holly is dead. I won't tell you any more than that. Again, hopefully you've been keeping up. If you haven't seen that part of the show, you are way behind, too far behind, in my opinion. I should be able to talk about that. It's not so much that Holly is gone. If you don't know, Holly is Tommy's girlfriend. It's not so much that she's gone. I think it's the way she went out. And yeah, Power is good. Power is awesome. Power's the best show on TV. I won't say any more about it. Hopefully you're watching it. Definitely take that in. Yeah, man, great cast. Great cast. I try to figure out, who's the best actor on there, but man, they all play their roles. They all do a great job. I really like that cast. And there's one thing that's always stuck with me, and I will save this because I don't want to ruin the show. As we know, 50 Cent is heavily involved with the show, executive producer, what have you. He has a role on the show. 50 Cent used to talk about how these things would play out. He used to always talk about this in interviews, and that has always been stuck in my head when I watch this show because, again, it's not going to end well. Everybody thinks this thing is going to end well. It is not going to end well. That's all I'll say regarding that. All right, let's get over to the OG quote of the week. Again, this week's OG, Muhammad Ali OG quote of the week comes from James Baldwin. Was with my nephew, have my nephew with me. As you know, school's getting ready to start back up. And one of the things they asked nephew to do going back to school this year, he's heading into eighth grade? Yeah, 8th grade. And they asked him to find a book. So he had some different readings, and they asked him to go pick out his own material. So we went to the bookstore, take him to the bookstore, and we're looking around and picks up a book, Not really good at picking out books yet. So I was just like, read this, read the back of it. Does it interest you? Whatever. So nephew ends up picking out his own book. He picked out How to Deal with Difficult People. Found it pretty interesting. It was a self-help book. It was pretty slim. I think that's also why he picked it. But just interesting, he got to pick out any book in the bookstore, and he picked out How to Deal with Difficult People. And it's funny because if you've seen this week and we laughed about it, I told him, I said, hey, man, welcome to the real world. Welcome to the fact that, yes, at least one time a day in life, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but at least one time a day in life, you are going to have your Al Roker, just let me stir my drink and not say anything, moment. Every day that is probably going to happen to you, and that is real rap. So he sold out the book, How to Deal with Difficult People. So when it became my turn to choose a book, I chose out James Baldwin, The Fire Next Time. And the reason why, I think I had read this book prior, couldn't put my hands on it at home. But I picked up the book. They had it. It's a slim book. I wanted to get nephew to read it. But in the book, first chapter in the book, he writes a letter to his nephew. And I thought it was very poignant. I wanted nephew to check it out. And there was a quote in there that I vaguely remembered. But when I bought the book, I was able to grab the quote. And the quote reads like this. He was talking to his nephew about the world and life and all these different things. And these are probably conversations you have with your children, with your kids, again, nephews. If you're a coach on a team, you have these conversations with the kids about the world and everything like that. And try to catch myself not to be too preachy to both my nephew and my niece, and kids and everything like that. You got to be very careful so you're not just talking at them all the time. So the quote reads like this, and this was it when he was, again, this was the letter James Baldwin had written to his nephew. This was in the book, from the book, The Fire Next Time by James Baldwin. And the quote reads like this. He said, nephew, take no one's word for anything, including mine, but trust your experience. And I would say that to you as well. This is some food for thought. Take no one's word for anything, including mine, but trust your experience, fam. Absolutely. I was talking to somebody about some football and X's and O's and all this stuff, and yeah, somehow it turned to us talking about art and music and all these things. And I believe the quote reads or goes, dude over my right shoulder in the Abbey, Fonte Coleman. I believe the quote is, I'm not formally trained. I'm just drawn from experience. That is the best way to put it. Look, fam, I'm not formally trained. I'm just drawn from experience. Yes, that's right. All right, let me get out of here. We are well past the time. Sorry about that. Thank you to everyone out there for listening. I really appreciate you. Thank you, Mom Dukes. Thank you, Pops. To my brothers, thank you. To my nephew and niece, my pride and joy. I love y'all. Prayers for my cousin. Again, hope you will feel better, cuzzo. Hang in there. Life is good. Prayers to you, cousin Rob. To the West Coast family, you know who you are. Thank you. To super producer Dex, thank you, brother, as always. To all my real life family in the great Northwest, thank you for listening. You are appreciated. To the Morehouse Bros, Penthouse, the top Fab Five, we are all we got. Appreciate y'all. Cannot forget about all my other cities: Atlanta, DC, Philly, VA, New York, Florida, Augusta, Georgia. Appreciate y'all. Everybody tuning in. We will be back. We won't be doing a show next week. We're going to let this summer finally fizzle out. And when we get games, we will be back. Enjoy these 2 weeks. Life is good. You have been listening to the Marcus Harper podcast. Thank you for listening. I appreciate it. Health, wealth, love, peace, and happiness. That is all I got for you. Again, thank you for listening to the Marcus Harper podcast. See you in 2 weeks. Life is good. Bye. Your arms real tight, the morning light is coming. In the afterglow beneath the twilight, I'll come running. Let go.